Welcome to Define Roots. My name is Tian. Today, we are going to talk about creating our own web. And I'll start off with back in the days, I used to wait for the perfect time to come until I do something. Now, looking back at that, I begin to realize that that is a mistake. Because imagine if you were a spider and then you tell yourself, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until the weather is clear, then I'll make my web. But you know what happens when we do that? If a spider does not create its web, it's not gonna eat. The chance of it catching anything in the air is zero. However, if it does just create like a crooked line web, it doesn't matter if it's like a perfect line, it's just like a zigzag line. The web isn't even like, it's like half attached to the other point. But the chance of it catching something at this, like right now, it's much higher than having no web at all. Now, let's suppose that it is rain season and this spider is waiting for the perfect day to come and then create his web. Now it's like, okay, how many days is it going to have no web at all and catch nothing and just stay there and wait until the perfect day comes and then do something? And you quickly realize that how big of a mistake this is and why just doing it, it's so important and so powerful. Because even if the spider made like 10 crooked lines, it's not even like it doesn't even look like a spider web. It looks like it's been drunk or drugged. But it doesn't matter, because if it does that 10 times, all of a sudden now its chances of catching something is 10 times greater than what it was. So again, it does that throughout the stormy weather. It's like has like a, it kind of look, it doesn't look like a spider web, but it's getting there. So it's like all broken lines and things are flying everywhere because of the rain, and the raindrops like hits the spider web and it drags it, and then it gets attached and it gets tangled and all kind of bullshit start happening. But it sucks, right? But then now there's a chance for it to catch something. Now all of a sudden, let's say that the after the rain comes the sun. Like let's say you had like a 2 months of solid rain, and then managed to build like some shitty ass spider web. And now all of a sudden the sun comes. Now is when the bugs begin to fly because it's the sunny outside. They can fly. Now all of a sudden its shitty nest has caught so many flies it cannot even fathom how to consume them all. It's literally just on its web, just sitting there waiting because it can't do anything. It's been caught. It's been simply so many bugs flying around, and it caught them all on this shitty web. So now it's consuming these things, these bugs, and it's getting stronger. It's getting more nutrient, and all of a sudden now it has the power to create a more magnificent web, more delicate web. It starts to upgrade its webbing system from shitty to less shitty, and now it becomes even better to become basic web and becomes more intermediate web, and it expands its web until it becomes advanced. That is the epitome of doing something versus doing nothing. Because when we do something, the timing might be off, but it doesn't matter, because even if it is the shittiest thing we do, at least we did something. And this is my mistake. Like back then, I didn't do anything because I wanted to wait for the perfect time. I wanted to wait for the moment to come, and then I'll do it. And imagine if I was a sailor and I say, you know what? I'm gonna wait until the wind comes and then build my sail. Just think about that for a second. Like, I would make a sail when the wind comes. The spider would make its web when there's bug in the air. No, you do it what's available right now and then, even if it's like the shittiest thing. Like, even if I can't, like, my sail, even if it was like I have two thread, I can't even make anything. But hey, at least I made two strand. I'm two strand closer to a big sail than no strand. And the spider is has one line of catching a one line greater of catching a bug than no line at all. So essentially, like when the spider has all the resources now, that when, let's say that I do things and when things come, now I'm ready to receive it. So for instance, let's say I want to be a millionaire, right? Let's just say that, okay? Every day I can do something to achieve that. And if I say to myself, well, you know what? I'm going to wait until I win the lottery. But let's suppose I do win the lottery and I'm financially illiterate. I don't know how to handle money at all. So let's say I win $1 billion and I buy a house for $100 million. I buy another couple cars for another $100 million, and I buy more bullshit. And all of a sudden, like, I'm 900 million. I spent $900 million, and I have 100 million left. And you might think that's a lot of money, but then you know what? 100 million. I buy this for 10, 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 this for 10. All of a sudden, I'm done. I have nothing. I just blew it all. There's no asset. There's no nothing. I just literally, I'm broke. And this is what happens to most people that win the lottery. If I'm not ready to receive the win, it doesn't matter if I receive the win or not, because I won't be able to harvest it. Same thing with the spider. It doesn't matter. As long as it has a web, it can catch something. If it doesn't have a web, it cannot catch it. And it doesn't matter that the spider is not going to read a book about creating a web. He just makes a shitty line, and then he learns. It's like, oh, you know what? When I made that line there, the bugs is flying over here. You know what I should do? I should make the line over there. And then it does that. And then it catches a bug. And you're like, oh shit, that worked. You know what? I'm going to do another line over here. And it's like, oh wait, when I do that line over there, all of a sudden they start to fly around it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make another line around there. So it's like, you learn as you go. And that's how it is. Every tree, every seed has to adapt to its environment. No seed will spend like half of its life studying the environment and then grow. If the conditions are right, it will grow, and it will learn to grow according to its environment. One, it manages to grow. Two, it will not. It is as simple as that, because if it can grow, it will grow. If it cannot grow, it will not grow. It is simple as that. So when it doesn't grow, what do? Gotta change something. Something gotta change. The environment gotta change. The soil gotta change. The temperature gotta change. The water gotta change. Something gotta change for it to grow. In other words, if every day I play video games, let's say 12 hours a day, and I do nothing for the other 12, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Well, suppose I want change. So let's say, okay, you know what? Since I play 12 hours a day, let's play 11 today. And in the other 1 hour, I'm going to go work out. You know what's going to change? I'm going to get a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to work out. I'll play only 10 hours today and save the other 2 hours to work out. Then I'm going to get stronger. Now I do that for a week and I say to myself, you know what? I'm going to play 9 hours every day, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But you know what? I'm going to save 3 hours. 1 hour, I'm going to read about something that I like, and the other two, go work out. I'm going to get stronger. Same thing with the spider. He says, it rains all day. I don't give a shit. I'm going to make a one line here. Even if it's like a bullshit ass line, doesn't matter. The tiniest line at all. Some drunk bug could literally just be flying through this line right here because it thinks it's safe. And all of a sudden it caught something. So the most important message here is that it doesn't matter what we do. Well, it does, but the more important part is like, as long as we do something, that is the important part. When we do nothing, that is literally, we get nothing by doing nothing. And by doing something, we get something. And that is how every statue is actually made. You have to chip somewhere. You don't just make the perfect chip like everything begins to unravel itself from one chip. Like you have to just make like a dent somewhere. And over time, it becomes fine tuned and becomes more delicate and it becomes more perfect. Becomes more perfect over time. And that's just how perfection is made. It becomes perfect through all the imperfections that happens over time. But perfect isn't even like perfect. It's just like very good at that point. But anyhow, that will wrap up today's episode about doing something versus doing nothing at all. Waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the perfect weather to come and then do something. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.